Hey guys, what's going on, everybody? We are live, I believe. We got three in the house. Man, I don't know exactly what went on there. Everybody that's with us, go ahead and let me know right now. Can you see everything? Can you hear what is our audio good? Let us know. Um, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. We had a stream set up all week. We were going to just use the YouTube platform straight on YouTube, where you could actually have a guest. We thought we had it worked out, but it wouldn't let me join the stream. I couldn't get it to work out. And I had everything set up where I was going to use the laptop here to actually read comments. And then I had my phone set up as a camera in a little bit different angle than what you're seeing now. But oh well. Tonight, guys, this is Mountain Grit. My name is Heath, and I am your East Kentucky hillbilly survivalist, just having some meltdowns, if you will. Who's with us tonight? We're going to go ahead and just say hello to all mountain systems. Good to see you there. There's my buddy, Mr. Cal, Mr. Emery, Mr. Scott. How you doing there? Passing through. Check his channel out if you haven't ever, because he does a lot of hitchhiking, guys, and you know that's survival in itself. There's Gummy. How you doing, Mr. Richard Gamir? Good to see you. Herbert T Outdoors is with us. Gen X Gemini. Good to see you guys. We're going to go ahead and ask Mr. Kaden Stetler to come on as a guest. There he is. Hello. How you doing?
How we doing, guys?
I tell you what, I don't know exactly what happened there. I really don't.
Hey, it happens. Right before we were supposed to start, I was crawling under the desk here trying to fix the computer, so I get it.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's got me in a tiffy. I tell you, sometimes I'm pretty cool and calm under pressure, but that one was, I don't know. I was trying to figure it out. I was like, man, I'm going to have to postpone this till tomorrow.
Oh, I get it. Well, hey, I feel like when you're supposed to do something good, life kind of pushes back a little bit. So I think we're supposed to do this stream tonight. This is good stuff.
Yeah, I was just trying to get I had some questions prepared, for a little interview style to talk to you tonight here. I was just trying to get that pulled up real quick here.
Yeah, no problem.
I'll help
send the link out here a little bit and get people on this new stream here with us.
Yeah, we got 12 in the house with us tonight. We appreciate each and every one of you that's jumped in here already. We encourage you, if you haven't said hello in the chat, to say hello. But, you don't have to. But we always encourage everybody to sound off in the chat. Let's see. Boy, I'm so frazzled right now, I can't even find questions.
You're just fine, Heath.
It's almost laughable, I know. Let's see here. Maybe I'm in the wrong spot here. Where we at?
No, don't. That's too hot. I gotta let it cool. Hurry.
Oh boy.
I'm Kate. How's it going? How's it going, everybody? Sorry, I have the chat over here. I'm not ignoring you guys. I'm just paying attention. I'm paying more attention to you when it looks like I'm not.
But yeah, we'll go ahead and talk about. I know you set up a nice little studio area there. You showed me some pictures. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I did. This is actually the first. This is the premiere of it, pretty much, here on Mountain Grit Live. So this is the bunker. We're gonna be having some good conversations, and this is a set for our Stetler Survival stories that we do, where we talk to people that are into the survival life and into homesteading, or all the above. And it's gonna be pretty cool. I'm excited to get some of those episodes out real soon. We're gonna be recording recording some of those in just a week or two. So, yep, it was a fun little project.
That's great. That's great. We'll go ahead. I found the questions, man. So I'm just going to get started here.
All
Uh,
right.
where where did your interest in survival, come from, or maybe not just survival, but outdoor related type stuff? I'm sure you're probably into all kinds of outdoor stuff as well as I, but we both have a little bit more passion for, maybe survival. Um, Myself, I've been preaching a lot here lately about not having, you know, to rely too much on gear, things like that. But we do
Mhm.
all know we have to have a few things with us when we're out there. Um, but I mean, I'll let you go ahead and answer the question.
I suppose it's kind of a long question, long answer,
Yeah,
honestly.
sure it is. That's fine.
So growing up in the woods with my grandfather, fishing with my other grandfather, that was one of the first steps for sure. Some of my earliest memories are in the woods, um, learning
Same here.
all sorts of stuff like that, and I'd say my first dive into, call it preparedness, survival, stuff like that. Um, I have to go back to 9/11. My father actually picked me up. He was the first parent at my school when I was in second grade, when 9/11 happened. And I remember, my memory might be a little skewed of it, but it was either right then or in the days following that I saw his bug out bag. My dad is an ex paratrooper, Army paratrooper, and he was always, always prepared like that. So that was my first dive into preparedness, and seeing that and being like, well, what this is, if there's an emergency, something crazy happens, you have something to help make that not as crazy, or to be ready for that.
Oh yeah, that's
And
exactly right.
yep, that's kind of the start, I'd say, for sure, of what piqued my interest.
Well, I mean, it's basically here. I mean, I'm just a few years older than you. Maybe 3 or 4, something like that.
Just a couple, one or two.
But um, the thing is, 51 to be exact. But the thing is, I, you know, I'm a Gen Xer. I grew up in the woods, and a lot of times our parents didn't really mind that we're out there because as long as we came back, before the lights went out, that's when that street light came on, you better get back in the house. But
Yeah,
but no, I'm just, you know what I'm saying. So
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
we were, and living here in East Kentucky, of course, any type of rural area. I mean, you're probably going to be near woods. I'm where I live now is near woods. I mean, close proximity. I can climb to the top of a ridge and set up camp overnight right here on my property if I wish. And there's a lot of folks like that. I mean, it's no big deal. But I'll agree with you. I mean, I, I won't say that I was so much in the preparedness as a young man, but
Hmm.
as I myself, went into the army, so that kind of worked out a little bit, helped me out. Being in the scouts helped me out, to just have that passion to just have things ready.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I grew up in the woods definitely as well. My grandfather is one of the, you should see his man cave. I don't think there's much room left for racks on the wall in there, man. He's been a mountain man for much longer than I've been alive, and that love for it, I think, really came from him, from in being in the woods and the bushcrafting and then that kind of stuff. He claims my first word was moss. My dad says it's airborne. I don't know, but so they'll fight about that. But
Well, I mean, that's the thing is that you talk about bushcraft, and the thing is it kind of all ties in, and some might argue this, but most preppers probably partake in bushcraft type projects, um, or would at least know how to. You know, folks. I mean, I don't just think there's folks out there that prep and don't do that, or don't camp at least. Um, Now you I do have folks around me here in my area that maybe they're hunters, but they don't really, when they go hunting, they probably don't put together too much of a kit. They don't
Yeah.
think about it that much. They just take what they need to have to kill that deer or turkey or whatever it might be.
Hmm.
This, I mean, I know folks like this. Now I tell them, I said, well, wouldn't it be good to maybe have something just in case, you fall and sprain an ankle or break a bone and you can't get out of there? Have a shelter component, at least something that you can drape over you. Even if you didn't have any cordage to tie it off in the type of a configuration, you could at least have it over you to, keep your core body temperature, keep rain off, whatever it might be.
Yep. I remember last year I went hunting with a good little group of folks, and I was the only one with a med kit. And I thought that was crazy. Being the only person that, well, we're doing something that has to do with firearms. Accidents happen, and nobody
Right.
else has any sort of medical supplies, and that's crazy to me. And I feel like most people that, like you were saying, that are into preparedness are probably into bushcraft as well, stuff like that. I feel like you're almost
Homesteading.
doing yourself a disservice not to learn a little bit about all of it, because so much of it is like hand in hand.
Well, I mean, when it comes to content creation, now you will have folks out there that will maybe use just one niche or the other. I myself like to just mix it all in. Like I said on my last stream, I was maybe going to start a new playlist, maybe even a channel that has more aspects to the other types of stuff I like to do in the outdoors. Now on this channel, Frontier Survival, we've do a little camping. We've showed a little bit of that in the past, you know, and when I say camping, I'm saying, family camping, but also sometimes just solo myself and with very minimal kit. I mean, that's what I kind of pride myself on is having a minimal kit, just the basic things that I would need, um, because there's no need to weigh yourself down too much.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Knowing those skills and being able to produce what a lot of people would with a lot of stuff is cool. You know,
Hmm.
um, I remember going and this past summer, my family bought some new land here in Pennsylvania here this year, and we were actually, my wife and I and the kids, we were the first ones to actually camp out overnight there, and we have a little teardrop, so I guess we're a little fancy. Um, and it was just that and the tent for the kids, and we had to start from scratch, and that was pretty cool.
Hmm.
We built our fire pit, I built my pot hanger, everything, and then that's still what we're using there today. And going out bare bones like that, besides our sleeping situation, um it was cool, getting to show the kids and my wife that kind of stuff, because my wife's into that stuff, and I think she's watching upstairs. We'll see if she pops down and says hello. um
Okay, yeah, that'll be fine.
yeah. And getting to show them that side of it, because she's into, we do this together obviously, but we're kind of different aspects, like I was saying, two sides of the same coin. you know
Right. Jake Stetler, that's your father, right?
yes, sir, it's the
Yeah, he
man.
said he appreciate that, brother. He sent some folks from the original feed over to this one. That was very appreciative.
Yeah,
Um,
thanks, Dad.
like I said, I don't know exactly what happened there, and now I'm not really worried about it. But I
Yeah.
think maybe I'll just stick to this StreamYard. Not worried about that anymore because this is probably a better platform to use anyway. I don't know.
Hey, it seems like it's working well.
Before we go on, I'm gonna say hello to a few others. Nature's Wild Playground. Uh, Miss April there, she's one of my moderators, and she also has a great group over there on Facebook, and they have a YouTube channel as well. Been grinding along on YouTube and different things for a long while, and she does a lot of wood burning projects. Very artistic there when it comes to that. But say hello to her and Creative Redundancy. Mr. CR is with us.
That's awesome.
Did see Kincaid Outdoors as well. So hello to you there, Colin. Good to see you. Some of these are old friends that have been part of the channel for a long time. Okay,
That's,
so I guess you pretty much got a business going on, right? Doing some classes and things.
you know, we We do. It's pretty surreal. We this was a dream for a long time to start doing this, and what was it, October? We started doing classes with Horn Farm. If you're not from the area, definitely check them out. They're this awesome uh, farm that they are doing regenerative farming, and it's just an awesome place. They do a ton of classes, do a ton of work in the community, and they had reached out and gave us the opportunity to do these classes. And our first one, it was a 3 week course. We had, what was it, 8 to 10 people for the whole thing
Mhm.
across the 3 weeks, and it was awesome. We all learned a lot. I learned a lot being my first class. Never stop learning, and
No,
it was a blessing for sure.
that's great. Yeah, so you got into that. Well, I mean, what made you just take that from a personal skill set, to a business? Just basically.
Yeah. So here's something you might not know about me. Through COVID, when that started, I was actually running my own charity for the
Okay.
homeless in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and I ran my own homeless shelter for about 2 years. Um, and I remember a specific moment in time when I believe it was we got MREs from FEMA,
Hmm.
and a lot of our guests, is what we called them, the homeless folks that were in our shelter, got them, and they had no idea how to use them. And I was like, oh, these are MREs, and ripping them up and showing everybody. And I kind of had, I guess that was kind of technically my first class about survival skills,
Right.
because everybody gathered up, and I'm like, hey guys, this is a hot meal in a couple minutes for you wherever you are. And I think something within that really sparked the idea in the back of my head.
Hmm.
And when the shelter shut down, then eventually we I was kind of in a place where I was back to working the job I was working before that, and I had done my own thing. It was my project that got to be my job, and that's kind of where it stemmed from again, where I started thinking like, I got to do my own thing again. And I have this love for survival and preparedness and all that. And I kind of started by making some micro survival kits, just the
Okay.
Altoids tin size.
Hmm.
And I was into it, and it was really cool. And I'd given up, I'd given some to my dad, my cousin, my brother. And I gave some to my uncle, and he was really into it. My uncle Wes, crazy mountain man. He's my spirit animal, I always say. he So he had actually given one to a friend of his, and they were kayaking, and they tipped over and lost their kayak. And the only thing they had on them was our kit shoved in their wetsuit,
Hmm.
still, sealed up and everything.
Right.
And they said that saved their butt that day. They got their fire started, got to, wait for the help to come, and that was probably the latest spark of, okay, this is cool. This is something we did that helped somebody again, because I it was always a big part of it for me, was helping folks. And I guess helping folks learn how to help themselves became the new passion.
Yeah. See, that even right there goes into what we was talking about earlier when I mentioned how there's some hunt guys around here that deer hunt and things like that. Maybe they don't take
Hmm.
much of a kit. They just take their rifle, rounds, things like that. And but that's another situation. These folks had somewhat of a kit, but they lost it after the kayak tipped over. But they was able to have
Yeah.
something else. So them little small kits, they come in handy. I mean, even if there's just an emergency whistle in that kit, that they might have already had one, but they lost it because they lost their pack. They got that to signal this, that, and the other.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so convenient to have them. They fit in your pocket.
Right. Um, so who usually, walks into your classes? I mean, all demographics, ages, groups, or whatever.
Yes, completely. Our first set of classes was, I think our youngest was 11, and our oldest was in her 60s. So
Okay.
it was a good mix of people and everybody in between. We had some young couples, some some just random folks in there, but it was a very cool demographic of people to come in, and it was cool to see people that ranged in ages like that be interested in it.
Yeah, Miss April here. She says always go in prepared as if you were not going to come out that night. There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
All Mountain Systems. I don't know if I said hello to them earlier, but just seeing that they came in here. Just met them not too long ago on Facebook. They actually sent me some kit stuff that I'm going to do a review on uh, here soon, a little video review. So, and it's basically what you were talking about. A little small,
Mhm.
maybe just a little bit bigger than an Altoids 10, but would definitely fit
Mhm.
in the cargo pocket.
Yeah, I just found out what the other night. All Mountains is another PA boy, so I'm gonna be placing an order for some of those fire starters at least pretty soon.
Oh
Gotta
yeah,
support
I
our
got some of
PA
those as
brothers.
well.
That's awesome.
Yeah, be looking for a video on that. And that's something, we'll continue on with some more questions here in a minute, but I just wanted to chime in a little bit here. That's something I've never really, we're talking about maybe, teaching some of this stuff other than, my videos. But I kind
Mhm.
of count that as just, being a content creator because sometimes I'm acting a little goofy in them. But um, maybe giving classes or something like that, or at some of these expos, things like that. I probably never would ever start a school, but you know, I wouldn't mind doing it.
Hey, it's you gotta throw that bit of your personality in there too. I think
Hmm.
that's something that has kind of taken part of the survival preparedness community. Is it's not about always being a badass. It's
No.
everyday men and that goofy stuff in there. We were joking around and laughing and having fun in our classes too.
Hmm.
And it gets people comfortable is the biggest part of it. And when people get to laugh together, when we get to sit there and poke fun at each other because hey, you didn't start your fire with the ferro rod yet, and joke with each other, that just opens it up to the conversations. And we spent honestly our first class. It was called the elements of survival. So I took different survival skills and broke them into the elements. Water, fire, earth, and air. And
Hmm.
our first class, I was a little excited and probably spoke a little quicker than I should have, and showed people stuff a little quicker than I should have, and we were done a little early. So then we sat there for the last like 40 minutes, and everybody just talked, and that was almost one of the most informative parts of the class, because everybody got to just kind of question stuff and talk and work out with each other, and even like I said, people in the class, I was learning stuff from them at the same time.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean I figure a lot of times. Now, I've never really took a class, and I'm not saying I'm beyond taking a class. I mean, I would really like to. I mean, just to meet the guy is go to the Pathfinder school and meet Dave Canterbury.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
um, and take
I
one of
got
his
his books
classes.
back here. What do I have? I got the whole
You what?
set right back here. All his books.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yep,
got
yep.
uh, I got Bushcraft 101 and Advanced Bushcraft. I got some
There you
others I
go.
need to get. So, but
Yep, yep.
yeah, um, and then there's and a lot of doing this whole YouTube thing. That's what got me into it is watching him on Dual Survival. Then later on watching him, I'm not sure. I'm sure you're familiar with Sean Kelly, Corporal's Corner. I always like watching
Oh
him.
yeah.
Um,
Yep.
sometimes he belly aches a little bit on his videos, but anyway,
Hey, that's fine.
just saying it got me to want to do this because I always kind of wanted to ham it up in front of the camera. I mean, I never was camera shy. I mean, I have fun getting in front of my phone and filming a video, even though there's nobody else there. I know I'm talking to folks, once they see it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I grew up in front of the camera. My father's a filmmaker, award-winning
Yeah, I remember you
screenwriter, and
telling me that.
I was on camera from an early age, so it kind of transferred over really quick. You know, it
All
it,
right.
it was always kind of second nature to me to be able to just hop on and share my thoughts, feelings, things I've learned, all that. And it's definitely a skill in my pocket that I've always been really thankful for, because it lets me do these things a lot easier than someone who would be, nervous to hop on camera.
Right. I mean, that's how I feel. I mean, and look at us right now. We're just having a conversation. It's like we're on the front porch somewhere. Uh,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
no, exactly. That that's
Um,
how that's how the best conversations happen, and people learn, and that's when
Absolutely,
people
and
learn things. Yeah.
that's what I wanted this podcast type platform to be is more of kind of laid back. I mean, not you know professional, but it didn't have to don't have to be too professional. I mean, it would be
Hmm.
cool to have something an in studio type podcast, but where we were both in the same room. But this is all right. I mean, it works.
Hey, this is great, Heath, and I found you just on I was trying to think about it last night. Actually, I just on one of the other survival pages that we're on, and I was drawn in right away. You're a great personality. You're very knowledgeable, obviously, and then your charisma really just brings people in, and the knowledge is almost like a afterthought for a minute, because you're drawn into like, oh, this dude's cool. I want to watch him. Oh, and he has great stuff to say too. That's awesome.
Yeah. Um, Appreciate that. Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
Here's one for you. How did the ABC 27 feature come about?
So I just walked in the door. I was out running errands, and the farm, Horn Farm, texted me and said, "Can you be at the farm in 2 hours?" Or no, it was probably less than that. It was like can you be at the farm in an hour? The news wants to do a feature on the class. And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." So ran up, cleaned myself up real quick, and buzzed over there. They're only about, I think they're 17 minutes from me. So got over there quick, and it was cool. I got to sit there and kind of show the even the news crew a little bit behind the scenes. In the video where I had some cattails,
Hmm.
and I got to bust them open, and that's always just an impressive little trick to show people, because it burns so
Hmm.
quick and so hot gives off the
Right.
flames. It's a cool little magic trick.
Oh, I agree. I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
I
They
mean,
were great.
with what you were talking about a while ago, how you're not camera shy at all. So, I mean, you didn't have no problem at all. I mean, getting down there. I mean, of course, to talk about the class and all, because that was probably one of my next questions: is how did that exposure change anything for you? But maybe as far as just yourself, it didn't, because I mean, you're all right when it comes to being on the camera. But I don't know,
Yeah,
did it change anything at all?
we definitely saw a kick of some more followers on Facebook
Right.
and YouTube.
Yeah, that makes
Um,
sense.
yeah, and I think it just helped build a little more momentum even behind the scenes for us, because it was okay. This is real. Not that it
Hmm.
wasn't before that, but hey, we're on the news for this now. We're doing this, and um, it really made us make the push that last year we had one class, and I guess I don't know. I guess I'm announcing this here for the first time, but we're gonna have 11 this year. So there's gonna
11
be a
classes.
lot more than last year.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
so it's pushing us to do all sorts of different stuff, and we're pretty excited. There's all sorts of good stuff coming, and we're announcing soon, and we're excited to really branch out and kind of hit different parts of survival stuff. We the lineup is a little bit of everything. It's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah. I was going to hit on what creative redundancy. He said that Dave's latest videos about winter clothing and heat loss. That he's been putting out a whole series on convection, and I love that stuff. I mean, just that's probably one of the few things that I like to maybe discuss sometimes is keeping that core body temperature, especially when you're out in the cold. I mean, you can camp. I mean, and he's talking about camping in the wintertime not in a hot tent. I mean, actually, Just
Yeah.
as long as you have enough R value underneath you and over top of you,
Yep.
you'll be good.
Oh yeah. I gotta go back here. My number one go to book. That's hard. That's hard.
Oh,
Hmm.
somebody ask you that there?
Yeah, somebody commented in there. I have to. Is this the? 1 second. Sorry, I'm gonna find it here. So I really love this series of books. Clint Emerson, 100 Deadly Skills. I don't know if you've ever seen these or if everybody has seen them before, but he uh he makes one for it's a little more tactical, which is just a fun read, some cool stuff. But he makes the survival edition, and it breaks it down into really easy learning. He breaks every chapter down and kind of sits there and dumbs it down for he says it's the
I'm
SEAL
in.
operatives guide, but he puts it into the every man's perspective. It's pretty cool. I definitely suggest that one. Sorry to cut you off there. I saw that
Oh,
comment with the answer.
oh, that's fine. You didn't cut me off. You're good. You no problem. No problem whatsoever. I got a little fella jumping in here just for a second.
Hey, buddy.
Hi, I told
How are
you.
you?
He's 5, he
Five.
says.
Yeah, I'm a little older than 5.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm doing good, buddy. How are you?
Good.
Yeah, good stuff, man.
All
What are you
right.
doing
Go ahead.
tonight? Check. Oh.
You go on. But he wanted to say hi. Yeah.
Papa.
So
Yeah.
let's see
I
here. What's
Papa.
hear Kelsey laughing upstairs. He's a cutie.
Your
huh?
whole week.
What?
You was in here a whole week.
A whole week.
Yeah.
I'll be done here in a little while. I'll be about there.
Okay.
Okay.
Better be quick.
All right.
Better be quick.
Let's see here. Here's something about gear. What's the biggest gear mistake people make?
I think it's the multi-use stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like they make all these little cards that are 10 different things in there, and that's not to say a Swiss Army knife, because a Swiss Army knife is a tried and true method, but those gimmicky little
All right. I know what you're talking
pieces
about.
of kit that just have when you sit there and you're like, oh, this is great, this is however many things in one, and I can throw it in my bag, whatever, and then you go and use it and your ferro rod snaps off the first strike and this, that, and the other thing, and it's just
Yeah,
useless.
I could
I
agree with
think
that.
that instead of taking the time to build out a whole bag or even a roll or whatever it is, and taking the time to test your stuff, I before I ever suggest stuff to anybody, I've beaten it, before I tell anybody, hey, this is a good product, I like this a lot.
All right. Here's one little bit on the YouTube side of things. How different is real survival from YouTube survival?
Oh, 100% almost. It's
Right.
you're putting on a little bit of a show for the camera when it's YouTube survival.
Right.
Um, and it's probably almost harder to YouTube survival than it is. You see other videos of even like watching dual survival or oh, what was the one my favorite one? I forget now off the top. Oh, Survivor Man. You spend half
Okay.
the time watching him walk back to get the camera.
Yeah.
He's spending double the calories just to record it, and I
Yeah.
feel like YouTube survival's a bit more of a show, obviously, but when you're out there by yourself without the camera on, that's a mind game more than anything. You know,
Hmm.
it's
Right.
you versus the elements and getting out there and getting yourself out if that's the goal.
Right. A lot of
Yeah.
these, you see a lot of these. I've seen them in the last year and a half of these channels popping up. that are doing just time lapse shelter builds and things like that, dugouts,
Yeah.
things like that. Uh, a house underneath a tree.
Yeah, that's a lot. If you're in a survival situation, that's a lot of calories to burn.
Oh yeah,
A tarp keeps the rain off you too. Yeah.
there you go. Well, let's see here. Don't know if anybody else has any questions in the chat. Feel free to ask. We'll try to make sure we keep track here. Let's see. I think I lost it again. I think I did see that you're um what's your wife's name, Kelsey? I think yeah, she's in the
Kelsey.
chat. Yeah,
Yep,
she's
she's
in the
a,
chat.
I got a couple in here. I got my best friend Andy's in the chat. I got my brother.
Okay.
I got my mom. I got my dad. I got pretty much the whole family tree in here. So
Well, that's good. That's like last week when y'all was watching big block party going on.
yeah, yeah,
Or
we
not
were
last
all.
week, but 2 weeks ago.
Yep,
Yeah,
we were all out there watching you, and that was awesome. Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Hey, of course. Happy to do it.
Well, I'll tell you
Jenner
what,
was here. She says that's my mom.
who's that?
Most memorable moment in the
Oh,
woods.
okay.
I'll let you go first. This is your show, Heath. Do you
Well,
have
I
one?
mean, uh, I don't know. I'm trying to think here. I mean, I got a lot of good ones, but I guess one of my most memorable moments comes from being a child, and we wasn't doing any survival stuff out there. We were just out there playing. But as I got older, say 8 or 9 or 10, is when I got into more of it. And you know, I had parents and grandparents that let me carry a pocket knife at that age, and I would go to the woods with that, and maybe a few feet of rope, something like that. But one of the most memorable moments is me and my siblings. We would just go out in the woods in this area where there was a little knob or hill, and then like
Uh-huh.
a little valley, and then another
Yep.
knob, and there's a grapevine that we would swing on. It has nothing to do with survival whatsoever, but still out there in nature, still out there having fun, and probably in the process of learning some different things at that time that we didn't
Mm-hmm.
really know. But yeah, there you have it.
I got a twofer. I got hiking the Appalachian Trail with my dad. That was always an
Yeah,
adventure going up to Splash Lake. I remember there's a spring up there, and that water is the coldest water you're ever in. And jumping into that, and you're sweating by the time you're in there, drenched. You're like, oh, I just want to get in the water, and you're in that water for about 4 seconds before you're plenty cool, and you're out of it.
oh,
Hiking
that's
the Appalachian Trail is always great, and then my last one is pretty recent. We before Kelsey and I got married a bit ago, my mom and I got to go out and we had one last outing as mom and a non-married son, and we went mushroom hunting together. So that was pretty cool. Those two really stand out to me for sure.
yeah. Here's one for you. What's the hardest or coldest or most miserable training you've ever done?
Rainy camping trips can get you, but it's
Hmm.
a mixture of going through the suck of just being wet.
Oh yeah.
That always gets you. Those hikes on the Appalachian Trail were miles and miles long, and they were hard. But those trips where you're out there trying to just do your best with the bare minimum, and sitting there in your wet little cot in your tent, and or just on the ground in your tent, and everything around you's wet, makes you think. I do have a bed at home, and I'm doing this for fun. That has to be it. Those wet camping trips.
Well, I can see that. I mean, yeah. I mean, like I said, we talked about keeping, when you're wet, and then if it's summer, it's maybe not too bad as far as losing heat because you don't really need it then. But
Yeah.
you don't want to be wet, in the maybe late fall or winter. Let's see. I was going to say hello to Rose Crabtree, a good friend of mine. He just jumped in here. Good to see you there. And see here, what's the biggest gear mistake people make? Or did I already ask that one?
We did do that one.
Okay. Let's see. If you could only teach one thing, what would it be? That's in the survival aspect, I guess,
If
or
I could only
outdoors.
teach one thing, hmm. Learn how to rely on yourself. Honestly, even at the end of the day, there's gear fails, but if you fail yourself, then that's it. You know, giving yourself the knowledge to know how to even be better than your gear is really what
Good answer.
counts. You
Good
know,
answer.
it's I tell everybody, even the folks in my class, my kids, my wife, everything. I'm a master of nothing, but I know a little bit about a lot of stuff.
Right.
And
Same here.
if you stop learning, you're done. You know,
Right.
anybody saying, "Oh, I know everything about that," I stop listening to that person pretty quick. You
Right.
know, if you stop learning, then that's it. But that's honestly, if it's one thing, it's never cheat yourself out of learning something new and depending on yourself over anything.
Well, I preach self-reliance all day long.
Yep.
I work at a hardware store, and I've been there a few years. So when
Hmm.
it comes to hardware or how to fix something, when it comes to home repair, I've learned a few things. I'm not a carpenter, I'm not an electrician or a plumber, but you know, working there, I could be probably, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm surprised at how many folks come in there, and this is East Kentucky, have you, that ask for help on how to do it. Some of these are older gentlemen sometimes, ladies. I'm not nothing to say. I don't want to say anything bad about ladies, but you might understand. They, a woman might. You can see that. Maybe not knowing
Hmm.
exactly what to do when it comes to that, but there's plenty of women that do. But
Hmm.
these older gentlemen come in there and say, they don't know. I was thinking, when it comes to like a thread pitch on a boat, that someone that was 60 some years old should be able to figure it out, even as long as, like we got little gauges and stuff back there to test and
Hmm.
things like that. I'm just
Yeah.
surprised sometimes that they don't know. Um, you know, I'm not trying to make fun by no means, but it's just
No. Yeah, I
surprising.
get it. The craziest part about that is, and I tell people all the time when they, oh, I don't know how to do this. I'm like, well, you have a supercomputer in your pocket
Yeah.
that you can look up how to do anything, and when somebody tells you that, oh, I don't know how to do that, well, you can spend 10 minutes and figure it out. If
Hmm.
there's not much you really can't learn. YouTube is a wonderful thing. The love-hate relationship with it aside, it is an amazing thing to be able to learn.
Oh
and
yeah.
and you can, everything's there. My dad's washer broke recently, and dad's been laid up with a knee surgery, jumping out of too many airplanes. And my stepmother, hey, do you know how to do it? I can in about half an hour. Let me sit here and figure out how to do it, and boom, there. I'd never done it before. And
Right.
that's something that I think that's a pet peeve of mine. I don't know if that was ever one of your questions, but that's something that drives me nuts, is when people, I don't know how to do that, and give it no more thought. Figure it out. You
Oh,
have the
I'm
best
right.
ability to do so.
We, I mean, we're so much alike when it comes to that because
Yeah.
I, I'm the same way. I'm not saying I'm not beyond asking someone for help, but I will try to figure it out on my own before I do.
Oh yeah. Hey, and asking someone for help just means you're willing to learn.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good thing.
but even like my post on Facebook the other day, I preach self reliance, but that still don't mean that you know you still can't bond with other people and become a community of like-minded self-reliance folks. It
Yeah.
don't mean being a lone wolf. you know
Yeah, I really did like that post, Heath. That was that was a good conversation, because building that community is something that is so vital in all aspects of all the stuff that we do and all the stuff we like. And I kind of mentioned it with my wife is she, and her and my mom both with the holistic stuff. I
Hmm.
don't know. I am not good with plant identification, stuff like that. The natural medicine, they are both so good at it. And that's
Right.
why
Well,
with our channel, we do, I do the survival, bushcraft stuff, all that. And then we have all the holistic stuff as well, because that's my wife's forte. And she has been, it's been amazing to watch her, even in just pursuing her passion of it, learn so much more. And the way that we have taken on, hey, oh, taking honey's good for this, oh, and then that leads to this, and now we're canning, and now we're doing this,
right.
it's all a spectrum. And when you have a crew of people that I feel I'm very blessed. My family we all have such a great set of skills together that
Hmm.
I have so many people to pick from, to learn from, that it is such a blessing.
That's great. I mean, that's how me and my wife Mandy, she likes to cam things like that. She's not on camera that much, but still,
We'll get her on, right?
yeah. I, you can find a couple of live streams, um,
Yeah.
in on the channel with her in it. So
It
she
took it
she
took
likes
me
to
a minute.
talk.
I had to convince Kelsey for a minute, but she's a natural. I love when she's on.
Oh,
She does such a good job.
I've seen a few there on your channel of hers, and I agree with
Hmm.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. What do you think the hardest thing is for students to learn when it comes to bushcraft survival, whatever it might be?
Pushing through when it gets hard. I sat there. The last thing we did in our class was every one of my students, I said they needed to learn and they needed to know how to start a fire with a ferro rod.
Mhm.
And we sat there, and a couple people got it pretty quick. And then there was two people that were having a good bit of trouble. And you could tell they were getting to the point, oh, all right, I'm ready to, and I sat there with them. I'm like, take a minute, you know,
Mhm.
let's picture it like this. You don't put yourself in a class right now. Say you're out here with, whether it's your kids, your grandkids, whoever it is, and this is the option. You don't have the choice to give up on yourself,
Mhm.
because if you quit, they quit, maybe you don't make it out of this. Let's take a minute, readjust yourself, kind of get your tinder going again. And every person there then started the fire. So
Yeah.
getting them over that hump of this sucks. You know what I mean? This isn't easy.
Right.
Was probably always going to be the hardest thing to teach. If as long as the outcome's worth it, it's always going to be, it's worth going through the hard stuff.
Oh yeah. I could agree with that too.
Yeah.
Let's see here. What?
Passing through ferro rods are a challenge, but I'm getting better. They can be, for sure. I feel like a decent bit of that is having a decent ferro rod, though. That is one piece of kit I don't skimp on, for sure.
Your dad here asked a question. What survival challenge would you like to do on your channel?
Ooh, I'll let you go first, Heath.
Oh man. Let's see.
Am I putting you in the hot seat?
Um,
I know if you want to think about it for a minute.
oh no, I'm good. Yeah, I've thought about that a few times. As far as the survival challenge, the thing is, you have some of these channels out there that sometimes they're saying they're doing an overnighter. Um, there's some channels out there you don't know whether or not they're doing an overnight or not. If they are, they're maybe not too far in the backwoods. Sometimes they're not showing a 360 of where they're at. But does that matter? I'm not saying, but I would probably like to do something like that. Maybe even do it as a live stream. The thing is I probably, if I did an overnighter, I wouldn't be in the back country either. would I have to actually be in the backcountry when I have the woods in my backyard? Just go there. I can still pick my Wi-Fi signal up and live
Yeah.
stream the whole thing. Even
Yeah.
while I sleep, I can just put the camera on me and live stream while I sleep. Now, whether there'll be anybody in there watching me sleep, I don't know. But that's the thing, you know. When these folks out there saying they're doing overnighter, we just have to take it as face value. We don't know. They don't show everything. They'll show a scene of them bedding down and getting ready and maybe stoking the
Yeah.
fire one more time. And then the next scene you see, they're waking up, getting ready to have breakfast. But I mean, I'm
Yeah.
just saying,
Yeah. I get what you mean. Yeah, for sure.
check out
I've
Dual
been looking
Survival.
into.
Not Dual
So,
Survival, but
yeah. Yeah. For sure.
not Dual Survival, but the channel.
Alone.
It's called Drop Forge Survival. It's a YouTube channel.
Okay.
Uh, he's a guy out of Texas. He was gone for 5 or 6 years, and he was. I'll say this: he was kind of a heavy set guy when he first started, and now he's lost a lot of weight. Now,
Hmm.
I mean, on his channel, he's talking more about religion and said he's found Jesus, he's been saved, which is great, you know.
Uh-huh.
But
Yep.
in his older stuff, you don't know whether or not he actually stayed all night there. I mean, they're just other than taking his word for it. But
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it. I have to say, I want to do an overnight winter camp in the snow. That's coming, hopefully coming soon. I'm working out something cool for that.
that'd be all right.
And I gotta say, I love those. Whether it's like the $100 Walmart survival kit challenges, stuff like that. I love
Yeah,
watching them. So I want to do
yeah.
one.
Drop Forge does. He has a lot of that. I seen that the other day. He was doing a Dollar Tree, $50
Yeah.
at Dollar Tree, and see what you can get to survive.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, absolutely.
and you got to get your cutting tool and everything from there. So I mean, what's going to be? I mean, it's going to be a big kitchen butcher knife or something. But
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think I would try to baton wood with it.
No, no, probably not.
Oh, there's
That's how
SD
you end up
Mountain Man
having to do the one-handed challenge.
from South Dakota. Good to see you there, brother. It's Mr. Scott, SD Mountain Man. There, he's got a decent channel, good channel. I appreciate watching him. He does a lot of.
Yes, sir.
I think it's called Fired Up Fridays, where he gets a little fire going every Friday evening or something like that, and he'll kind of show what he's using, things like that. Um, uh,
That's
when
awesome.
you were talking about a while ago with your students, whether or not they can get that ferro rod fire going, what were you using? Was you supplying tinder? Did they had to gather tinder? Did they use natural tinder? Or was any cotton balls and petroleum jelly all right to use? Or
So I had planned on having everybody go get their own tinder because we were in the
Mhm.
woods. Rained all morning, and
Yeah,
I knew it was gonna come, and this was an intro to these skills class. This wasn't a more advanced thing. So the
right.
night before, I did go out and collect a bunch of tinder for everybody, and so they used a whole mess of stuff. But I basically set out this bag, and I was like, "This is what you guys got. I got a little bit of dry wood. I got some tinder in here." And they just had to start something little. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
just something
right,
sustained for a minute, and then whatever. But
right.
I gave them the tools a little bit, but that's just because these a majority of these folks had never touched a ferro rod in their life before.
Right, and
You
that's
know?
what I was getting, and I was, they just kind of popped in my head. I was just thinking myself while you were talking about that. What I didn't know, what the rules were as far as that goes. If you know, store bought
Yeah,
type stuff was okay, or
yeah.
little fire.
I showed them some of the tricks. We did the wax and the cotton balls and all that, and that was part of the what we what we called one of the make and take projects. Um, but I kind of wanted everybody, hey, don't use the tricks now. I'll show you after
Mhm.
you get it started how this is quick and how this would really help you, and it's something you should carry in your kit and all that. But you know, I kind of wanted to see, hey, let's use nature and start with that, and then you get to learn the tricks, you know.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's good. I mean, that's good to know that you could use different things. Um, and even if you're talking about being wet that day, I mean, if there was any area where you could get some stuff that was more off the ground, a lot of times you can get some grassy type stuff that might not be
Hmm.
wet.
Yeah, it was a toss up. I wanted to, you know, I knew we had some kids coming, and
Hmm.
I
That
wanted to
makes
give
sense.
them a good little chance. You know, I I feel like when you're kind of entering this stuff, if you go into 100% suck right away, it discourages a lot of people. You know, but you know, giving them the little bit. Okay, here's at least a dry tinder, and then I explained to them as well, like, hey, when you do have your kit, here's why you should carry a little bit of tinder in it. You know what I mean? All the time, because you never know when it's going to be wet. You know, it could
Right.
be at the most inconvenient time.
Let's see. Well, yeah, maybe one last question here for me. Then
Yes,
maybe there
sir.
might be somebody in the chat, but tell us about a time things got truly miserable or sketchy. Maybe not maybe not in class, but maybe you were camping or
Yeah.
something, or you know.
Yeah. So my comes to mind pretty quick. My brother and I were camping on the Loyal Sock here in Pennsylvania, and the Loyal Sock's known for flooding real bad, and the property we were on is known for flooding pretty bad. And it was kind of a spur of the moment trip for us, and when we headed up to the land where we were going, and we're having fun. All of a sudden, it starts raining like nothing you ever seen before, right? And we're sitting there, and it is lightning, rain, thunder, everything, and the wind is going, and we're sitting there, we're sitting there in the tent. I look out because we had made a whole little tarp system for a little porch area for ourselves. Everything, it's all wrapped around our tent. Our tent's halfway out of the ground, and the
Hmm.
water's pouring in, and we sat there, and I'm like, and I see the water rising in the Loyal Sock, the little creek, river, whatever
Mm-hmm.
whatever you want to call it.
Right.
And we're sitting there like, all right, now that we got to move a little bit here. So we repositioned our stuff. This is one of the wet stories I was saying. We repositioned halfway up the property, and you know, sitting there getting ready, like, this might be when we need to leave, because if this floods, I mean, this the Loyal Sock, this water has taken trailers. You know, it takes campers like nothing. You know, there's a bridge near there that they collect down there after, you know, real big storms. So that's one that definitely comes to mind for sure.
Well, I see. Just a second here. I was trying to answer a message here. Someone sent me.
Yeah, flash floods aren't fun.
I just seen the messages I had. There's somebody that was in the stream that we started that didn't work good. They said they couldn't seem to find it. So I was just telling them, I said, just go to my channel. I'm live right now.
Oh man. Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to look at the chat here too. This is, man, got a good
Says,
group talking in the chat tonight.
yeah. When you see creative redundancies, when you see a mini tent do a 360 in the air, yeah, it's kind of dicey in the wind.
Yeah, it's not fun.
But well, that's like I said, that's I had a few questions there, but that I had wrote
Yeah,
down. I don't know if anybody else has any questions. Feel free. We'll go for a little while longer here, just chit chat or whatever.
yeah, I'm good to be here. I appreciate being on tonight, Heath. It was a good time.
Oh, I enjoy doing these. I mean, even we had a problem there at the beginning, and things like that happened. I mean, as I said earlier, I did get a little frustrated, but you know, I knew really in the end that things would work out somehow.
Yep. Hey, it was worth it in the end.
But you
Glad you
know,
liked it. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, that's one thing I need to get going. Is I've been throwing a lot of these short videos on YouTube and well on these live streams, but I need to get me some time to where I can get some longer form videos. I got that East Wing cap axe that I want to do a review on and test and get out in the woods with that. And I got a little kit I want to show off for my Amhay rucksack that I got going over there. Let me see if I can grab that real quick.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't, I'm a big proponent of knowledge before gear, but the thing is, I still have gear. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's Amhay pack. I mean, it's a pretty good rucksack, pretty good pack. It's by
Oh, yeah. That's
Amhay,
awesome.
AMHEH. We got a video where we kind of showed the components of this. I mean, the organizational components and things like that without it filled up. But we got a kit that we've put together, and it's pretty much like an overnight kit. So,
Mm.
I'm not sure. We talked about doing an overnight survival type challenge on the channel, so we can maybe take this with us. But it's a pretty good size pack, and I mean, awesome straps there, real nice and padded. And then of course,
Oh, yeah.
This thing, we've been planning forever to try to get a video done on this, take this out and, split some wood with it and see how it does. Of course, that's all steel right through there, just a rubberized handle. It feels good in the hand. So, I mean, this thing is probably about indestructible. And it's pretty sharp right out of the box. And we haven't really done much with it. We haven't done anything off camera with it other than, showing it just like we are now. But yeah, we want to try to get a video soon with this. We have got some footage, but we kind of need to finish it up and get that uploaded.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing I think he's still in the chat here. I'm gonna put him in the hot seat here, but my dad's gonna be doing some segments on our channel as well. We're looking forward to some gear reviews, some tech stuff. It's gonna be interesting. It's kind of another side of preparedness and survival stuff. So I'm putting him in the hot seat now. He's got to get his first video out here. I don't know if we've established the name yet. We've talked about it a little bit, but yeah, Pops Tech, like
That's all right.
OpSec, Pops Tech. Yep.
Yeah, he was saying there, he said to subscribe to Frontier Survival and Stetler Survival. He asked any other creators in the chat who want to share their channels.
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
do
It's
have
all about building a community of us, man. That's awesome.
yeah, I'm not sure if Miss April is still with us. She is a moderator. She can grab links and pop them in there. But if she would like to, she doesn't have to. But
Yeah, absolutely.
I think she might be the only moderator I got with me tonight.
I see all Mountain Systems asking about our class coming up. The next one we have is March. It'll be the end of March. We're not solidified on the date yet 100%, but we're actually going to be doing a kit building class. We are gonna start, and we're gonna do a micro survival kit class, and kind of go over why I think that's such a great idea as a piece of kit to carry. What you should put in it, how it changes based on your where you live, where you're gonna most of the time be carrying it, that kind of thing. So that's one coming up. We're gonna have we're gonna be doing our Elements of Survival class twice this year. That's like our introductory class for everybody. We're gonna throw a bushcraft class in there, a little bit more advanced than what we cover in the Elements of Survival, and we are gonna be doing I'm gonna do a camp cooking class. I was a chef for part of my life, so cooking in the bush and everything is something I really like to do. So there's going to be some of that in there, and some other surprises coming. We're not 100% locked in on every single idea yet, but gonna have some stuff focused towards kids coming, getting the younger folks out there learning this stuff, and we got a good mix coming this year. We're really excited.
Yeah, and you talking about cooking, camp cooking, which is, outdoor cooking is great. That's something I've not really, I don't even know if I really searched for it on YouTube, but I mean, I've seen folks, but they're basically bushcraft channels that, they're cooking outdoors, but they were doing
Yeah.
other things too, building shelters, whatever. But I actually having a YouTube channel just all about cooking on the outdoors. That'd be all right. But
I need
I
to
was going to
get
show you this.
I didn't oh sorry. I didn't have any when
Oh, go
I
ahead.
sent you the other stuff here, but I have a Stetler Survival seasoning. It's like an all-purpose camp seasoning. When I
Yeah,
get some, I'll get it sent out to you. That it's always requested whenever we go camping. Everybody always wants it.
I'll
Good
say
on
so.
everything.
But yeah, I was going to show this thing off, and we've showed this before, and we even actually done another video not too long ago. But this is the Polish bread bag. I love military surplus, and this is probably one of my favorite things to take just out here on day hikes, just patrolling the property, the acreage we have here. We always just do property checks, and when we do property checks, I don't hop on the four wheeler or the UTV or anything like that. I go on foot. Just because
Yeah.
that's just me. I enjoy being out there, and I figure, I might as well just walk to the top of the ridge on foot, and I'll
Yeah.
have something. I could put plenty in this if I had to stay overnight or
Yeah.
whatever.
That's one of my things I need to get here is a new kind of just knapsack bag like that for I have a
Yeah,
ton of different bags, but I want almost even like a sling bag just to have stuff right there. I
yeah.
need to
I
get a
mean,
new one.
over the shoulder type bag, sling bag, a haversack, whatever you want to call it. But something like this, I mean, a haversack's all right, and I like them all right, but it's pretty much one big dump pocket. I mean, I like a little more organization, and this has like pockets inside that you could use to put, like say if I had a Bic lighter in my pocket, right? Well, I can,
Mhm.
and we're going to have a redundancy of a ferro rod inside here or whatever, but I can, say maybe I lost my Bic lighter that I had in my pocket. I can hide one in here in one of the little pockets. You know what
Oh
I
yeah.
mean?
Yep. Yep.
That's another thing I seen the other day. Blackie Thomas, I guess you're familiar with Blackie. Um,
Hmm.
he's basically talks mostly just bushcraft stuff, but it's survival related. I mean, all of it is really. But he was talking about the last resort, which that's what he was showing. He was showing he had his main big lighter. That's what his first go to, right? Then he had his big ferro rod. Now he was showing these little things that he had like a zipper pull on his zipper of his haversack of another ferro rod. It was just a zipper pull.
Yep.
That he could, a little
Yep.
small one that you would use as a last resort.
Yeah. That's
One
I
last
can't.
thing.
Everybody always knows I usually have at least two knives on my person at all times, and
Oh yeah,
sometimes three, sometimes when and in the car doesn't count because there's more in there. This kind of all these
mhm.
redundancies. And recently, someone, hey, let me see your knife. I don't have a knife on me right now. What? Just bizarre. What I mean? They were so thrown off by it because I always have something.
Yeah. Um, one more thing I wanted to show here real quick.
Yes, sir.
We'll be having a video on this as well, and this is the stuff that All Mountain Systems sent, and that's their
Nice.
number 38 survival kit right there. Now, like I
Nice.
said,
That's awesome.
it's bigger than the Altoids 10, but that would fit right in the cargo pocket. Um, we
That's
haven't took
awesome.
the contents all out of the plastic things, but we'll show this off, show what the contents are soon. But he
Yeah,
sent
I'll have
that.
to check it. I'll have to check it out. I'll expect an order here soon, bud. I just ordered from Gummy. I got
Oh, awesome.
a multi-tool
Pat,
case. I'm
yeah.
excited to see that.
Oh yeah, he does good.
Yep, RG
Well,
Fabric.
poor old Gummy, I
Awesome
tell you
stuff.
what, he's been having a lot of problems over there on Facebook. They're telling they're not recommending his page, and then a few minutes later they say back to recommended again. I don't know if you've seen that stuff in the feeds or what, but
Yeah.
and then there's a lot of folks. I had I was showing off. I had Button Hook Forge on the channel on Mountain Grit, a few weeks ago. He sent me a knife, as a thank you for having him on. I showed it, I got a little video, talked about it, showed it off. They said, and I think it's because of the knife that video isn't monetized.
That's
They said
bizarre.
no monetization,
Yeah.
monetization for this video.
Yeah, that's bizarre. There's a lot of that happens between YouTube, Facebook, all that kind of stuff, and
But
it's
I
driven
didn't.
some content creators away to start different things. I know folks in the firearms community. They've started, a lot of those guys started their own streaming service because they're educational, teaching education, and how to use these things properly, or even just knowledge about it in general, and it's getting flagged and demonetized and stuff, and yeah, it's crazy. It
Yeah, I mean
doesn't make sense to me, but
I guess it's probably got to do with woke culture. I don't know, but
yeah.
I didn't get to show this yet. Nice little
Oh
thing here
man,
that you all sent me.
that's
That's pretty
right.
cool. The Mountain Grit logo there. Now you just have to make
So
one with the
the
Stetler
kids got a
Survival logo.
3D printer for
Yeah,
Christmas, and I think I've played with it more than them. I don't know, but we were playing with it, and I printed our logo, and I knew I was coming on, and I was like, "Oh man, I got to get one of these out to Heath."
I surely appreciate that. Along with
Yeah, no
a
problem.
couple of Stetler Survival stickers there. So that's
Yeah,
cool.
good stuff.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I'm
no problem.
going to bite the bullet. That's something I've not done a whole lot with, is any type of merch or stickers. And I've had a channel for 4 or 5 years now. Um, just never did fool with it. I have had people ask me about like morale patches, and that's probably what I would do is make a Velcro patch uh, out of the logo or something. And I'm probably going to reach out to somebody that does that here soon and get maybe 100 or
Yeah,
200 of them and see what happens.
yeah, that'd be awesome. We just got it's just for us personally, but we got our shirts here now.
Hmm.
Stetler Survival on the front. Let me know if you can
Mm-hmm.
see it past all the header, but got Stetler Survival on the back. We finally got some shirts made so we can look the part when we're doing this. So,
Yeah, that's good.
yep,
That's
good
what's going
stuff.
on.
Yep,
Oh, okay.
exactly.
Miss Rachel has been posting links. Good deal. Appreciate that, Miss Rachel.
Yeah, thank you for spreading the word.
Well, I tell you what, I think that's about all I got.
Yes,
Probably
sir.
go ahead and end this here and then gear up for the next one in another 2 weeks.
Yes,
Uh,
sir. Looking forward to being back in the audience. It was a pleasure to be on the show. I really appreciate your time and always enjoy talking to you, Heath.
oh, you too, brother. And yeah, we'll continue on. We'll collaborate again, I'm sure, one day soon.
Yep, absolutely. Next up is Heath on. I want Heath's Stetler Survival story. He'll be sitting. Probably, well, not sitting here. I don't know. Maybe I'll bring the teardrop out to Kentucky and do it live. But
Hey,
we'll get
we'll
Heath
get
on
it
the
done.
show soon. That'd be
Yeah, I
cool.
appreciate
Yep.
that.
Yep,
Well,
absolutely.
folks, we appreciate you guys, and we're going to go ahead and end it here. But just remember that you've got to keep that mountain grit alive. We'll see you on the next one. Thank you, Kaden. You have a good night.
Thank you. You too, brother.